Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we will continue with BQS554 building services. Okay, so building services 2. Today we will be continuing with the topic of special services. Okay, special installation. So today is the second part of the special services installation, where we will be focusing more on the building security system. Okay, so first of all, as usual, some definitions. What is security? Okay, security means safety, safekeeping, precautions, or protection against the social misbehavior and disregard of other people's property by a minority of the population. So this is especially true in these days of COVID lockdown, where we can have a bit of a civil unrest when the things get out of hand. So security measures are needed in people's property. Okay, so as the pattern of this population has increased, the interest in intruder alarm for both domestic and commercial building has developed significantly. So due to increase in demand, these days even a proper security system can be acquired by those domestic consumers. Okay. So there is no security systems that is infallible. Okay, but the more carefully chosen and designed the system is, okay, the smaller chance that it will be defeated. Okay, so there is no perfect security system for everybody. However, the more the more high tech the system is, and the more system you put into your premise, okay, so there's be a smaller chance for the entire of the system to be defeated. Okay, so this is an example of a typical building security and car park control system. Obviously, this is for high-rise buildings. So we can see this as the worker comes in and to his or her office and goes back. So every movement that he or she makes shall be controlled and monitored by the building security system. It starts with the building entry. It will start with car park access control for entry and exit. So normally when people goes to the office, they will drive their car and whatnot. So only those with access would be allowed to park their car in the building's car park. Okay. So, and then we have the building entry access system with intercom. So only those with clearance will be allowed to enter a secured building. Lift access control restriction, tenants within floors. Okay, so only certain people will be allowed to access certain level of the buildings. Okay. Secure alarm areas within office complexes. So within that level itself, there might be some areas which are highly sensitive and cannot be accessed by everyone. And these areas are being secured with access control and alarms. Energy management and building services control system, lighting and air conditioning. So the system also monitors in terms of the services being supplied to the building, especially lighting and air conditioning. Okay. So overall, we can see a conceptual map of the building security system. Especially today, we'll be talking about these four. We have electronic surveillance, access control, human surveillance, and intrusion alarm system. So in terms of the system design, okay, the system design depends on the building type, location, and what it needs to be secured. So normally the security system has been customarily designed for that particular building. So we rarely have the same kind of a security system for every type of buildings. So the system itself must be responsive to codes and regulations by the authorities. It is appropriately interactive with other building systems, meaning that all of the systems inside the building must be able to communicate with one another, meaning that the CCTV can talk to the what you call access control system, which then can access the control room. So all of these individual subsystem must be able to communicate with one another to ensure that the entire security system is more efficient. So the security system can be cost effective in both short and long terms. It is an investment to provide the security system, but in the long and maybe short term, it will provide a lot of benefit. Adaptable enough for foreseeable needs, meaning that the system is adaptable, can be upgraded, can be integrated with other things. So you can add more CCTV, for example, or to equate with very fast internet connection systems, things like that. So the system must be upgradable, okay, in a way. And then the needs should be addressed early in the design process, meaning that the owner needs to talk with the security consultant on what his or her needs in a security system, so that the system can be tailor-made for that particular demand. Okay, so we've mentioned this. Okay, there are four types of security system we'll be covering today. First of all is the access control system. So the access control system, okay, is to gain access to a room or location both with an identification number and a password that can be set up in security and access control unit. So it utilizes identification techniques such as barcode, magnetic stripe card with optional password key in. So the most basic type of access control system is simply to provide the people using that building with identification number or a password and barcode or magnetic swipe card. Okay, so this will be installed at all access. Usually is near the doorway lah. Okay, so it sounds alarm and keeps transaction when abnormal triggers, meaning that if the door is somehow open without one entering their identification number or without using the access card, so the system will trigger an alarm, whether it's a real alarm or a silent alarm to the control room, okay, indicating that there is an abnormal activity in that area. And also this system is capable of recording all the person in-out transaction for reference and monitoring purposes, meaning that the system can keep track of the workers in terms of their movement, where they have been at certain time of the day, okay, inside the building, of course. The system will take responsibilities for complete security of authorized and unauthorized entry. So the security will monitor all of these entries. Ideal for office building, hotel, laboratory, hospital, and law enforcement department. So these are office buildings, public buildings where there would be some sensitive materials that cannot be accessed by everybody. So the access needs to be controlled with this kind of security system. So other benefit, it allows incorporate time and attendance to controls of specific areas, provide real-time report and accurate information in terms of the access, how many people have been accessing that particular area in certain date, for example. Increase security, flexibility, monitor individual or groups in terms of their movement. Lock and unlock doors, whether using the access card or remotely. Provide superior access control with the benefits of an audit trail. You can monitor the you call data. And then secure any size facility from private home to an entire university campus with thousands of doors. Depends on the size of the security system and its capability for integration. Track employee activity, of course, generate report, trace movement to improve productivity, detect problems. Also, certain employee with low level access cannot access areas which require high level access, for example. Incorporate biometric technology for enhanced security. So this is the latest in terms of access control system, where these numbers and swipe cards can be duplicated in a way. So by using biometric, such as fingerprints, okay, such as voice or face recognition, and the latest is iris recognition. This will improve the security of any access control system. So these are some of the types. We have door alarm monitoring system. Okay, so the door is equipped with an alarm. So when it is time for the door to be secured, okay, it shouldn't be open because when it's open, it will trigger an alarm. And then we have the next generation card access. So this is where we have our swipe card to lock or unlock the door based on time schedule. Normally, working hours, okay, you can unlock the door with your card. If you have the access or the clearance to do it. So we have two types here, insertion or proximity. So the insertion, we need to have a physical contact with the card and the card reader. Or proximity, you just need to basically like wave the card near the reader for access. And the third one is latest is biometric access. So normally biometric access being used to control access in very sensitive rooms or buildings. Okay, so The biometric use is maybe fingerprint, okay, proximity, or keypad, handprint geometry, retina scan, facial recognition. So all of these, or maybe a combination of this. Okay, so this is the highest level. Okay, the most common one in biometric access is fingerprint reader. Okay. Next is, okay, so this is more information on a card reader. So the insertion type, we have magnetic stripe and barium ferrite cards. This is the most basic in terms of security for using cards for control system, for access control. For proximity, we have electronic circuit card, metal embedded card, and infrared cards. These are more higher secured type of cards. So in terms of the system itself, it can be a standalone or an integrated system depending on the need of the owner. So the standalone system is separate and not connected to other building services, equipment and plant system. So the card reader only control one door. Okay. So the card reader control connected to the remote management computer. So this is a standalone where the integrated system is a part of the building automation system connected to other security system. It is integrated with other building services, plant and equipment. So the integrated system, when you swipe, you not only open the door, your swipe, your access is recorded by the server. And then maybe the CCTV can start monitoring you inside the particular room. The lights might turn on automatically, as well as the air conditioning and things like that. Okay. So the purpose of controlling access has two goals: to detect incursion of the building for criminal purposes during non-working hours by means of physical and electronic security measures. So we want to identify there is an unauthorized access to that particular room. Okay. Number two is to limit access, meaning that we do only certain people can access that particular room. Okay, certain people with certain level of security clearance. So features found in modern access control system, basic feature that identifies card user. So when you swipe your card, the system can identify the owner of the card. So that kind of thing. Assign different level of access to different building areas. So this is especially true in integrated system, where it doesn't mean that you have a card you can access everywhere. It depends on your security clearance. Okay. Time delay feature that prevents cardholder from passing his or her access card back through or under close control door to be used by another person. So these are some of the measures to avoid the cards being used for many times. Okay. So the system, the integrated system will identify, okay, this card has been used for this door, so it's supposed to be here. So when the card is being used to access other door without this person checking out from that room, so the system will detect that anomaly and report to the control room. Feature that provide report of entries and departures from building. okay, or specific areas of building. So the system will record, okay, when the person checks into an area and when they check out before checking into some other areas. So this shall be recorded. So this is basic layout of the basic setup card access monitoring. We have the card, okay, and then number 2 is the card reader unit. Number 3 is the control panel, okay, that will run the software. Number 4 is the electronic door locks, okay, to lock or release the door. Number 5 is alarm signaling device. Okay, we have an alarm for local alarm or silent alarm. And of course, number 6 is all the cables that is needed and that are needed. Okay, so this is the process. Okay, control all function at the door. The indoor cabinet could be replaced to have an outdoor. Okay, so this is for the reader. And then user-defined inputs can program the output. Can be used for as a standalone panel. Optional DC power supply for power backup. Okay, in case there's a power failure. And then able to store all data in terms of power failure. Okay, buffer can store transaction and buffer upload open. This is the capability of the system to detect the activities in huge numbers. Okay, so it has to have a large buffer. 255 multi-slot 7-day time zone. So this system must also be able to handle a lot of decision in regard to which door needs to be open and which door needs to be locked. Okay, because there will be a lot of people working in that building. So obviously there will be a lot of people coming in and out. So the system must be able to act relatively quickly in terms of deciding to release or to lock the door. So all of these shall be recorded. Okay, control of all input output points. Okay. So this is the biometric access control system. Okay, we have the system entry control and the biometric measures. So this is an example of a fingerprint reader. Other than that, we have other methods that I've mentioned. Okay, second is the electronic surveillance. So when we talk about electronic surveillance, we are normally referring to CCTVs. Okay. So the CCTV system, these systems are used to view and record activity from remote locations and consist of a variety of components based upon the application. So there are numerous kinds of CCTV systems. Okay. So the typical component consists of cameras, monitors, multiplexers, switches, recorders, and video transmission system. So you can see here we have a number of cameras. Then we have the control unit and the video multiplexer, which will control the monitors and the recorders. So in terms of the camera, okay, it is being positioned throughout the facility, meaning there will be a lot of these CCTV cameras. Automatic call up camera to activate the alarm event or manually. Okay, so the camera can detect, let's say, an emergency. Okay, so let's say, or they can confirm let's say the sensor detects that there is a fire in that particular area, so the camera will zoom, the nearest camera to that incident will start to focus and zoom into that fire, so that the operator in the control room can confirm that there is a fire. Okay. So in order to do that, the operator must be able to manually control the features of the camera like pan, tilt, zoom, and focus. So zooming and aperture control for better production of images to suit changing light condition. This depends on the type and quality of the camera. Obviously, if you have installed a high definition camera, you would be able to get more details out of the videos compared to a normal camera. Okay. So place inside a secure housing to protect camera against vandalism or weather. So this is usually cameras that's being put outside. So they are protected in a metal casing. Okay. Time-lapse sequence camera switching, meaning that this is the way of the camera's recording. So they can do a continuous recording, which would require a lot of storage space, or they can do time-lapse recording with sequential camera, okay, to save in terms of the storage, but still ensuring that we are covering as much area as possible. Video motion detectors, so name, i.e. camera will switch on when it detects motion. So this is the newer technologies where you do not need to turn on or record the camera 24 hours a day. So the camera is being equipped with motion detectors, meaning that once the motion detectors detects there is some movement, it will turn on the CCTV and the CCTV will start recording. Okay, some of the CCTV features is connected to TV monitor. Okay, so this is the system itself. It needs to be connected to a monitor for high resolution, 24 hours use, and it can support split screening. So this monitor will show multiple areas at the same time. And then a video recorder. Well, this is during the age of analog recording. These days, we don't even use video recorder unless it's a low budget system. Okay, so these days we record using digital format, whether in cards, okay, SD card, things like that, or record it or dump it when the card is full. The extra or the old video shall be dumped into a hard disk, or it will be recorded and dumped into the cloud. Okay. So the CCTV system purpose to supplement or augment physical and electronic security system. So the CCTV can provide confirmation of what has been identified by the other system. For example, access control identified there is an unauthorized access to a particular room. So the CCTV system can be used to confirm this matter, okay, if there's nobody at the site. Integrates remote monitoring from our command center. Of course, it needs to be connected to the control room. Enable immediate response to any accident. Guards or doormen can take immediate action. So it will be easier for the people at the control room to guide the guards, okay, on what's going on. Okay, to provide some level of security when the use of physical and electronic security system are not feasible. Okay, so maybe some of the system went down. Okay, so the CCTV system, being a separate system, can be used to still monitor in terms of security. To record activities for archival purpose, yes, can be used as proof in legal what you call legal process lah. Okay. And to deter or discourage crime, so criminal usually when they saw CCTV, they will avoid it at all costs. And these days, even the CCTV is equipped with two-way voice communication. Okay, so that the people in the control room can provide warnings to the intruder through the CCTV cameras, okay, or even raise alarms. Okay, so the next component is human surveillance. So human surveillance is more of a support system to the automated security devices. So normally this is still needed even though we have installed all this system, where the guard will patrol or walk about by security personnel at scheduled time in the property. Okay, so there is a possibility that the intruder will able to avoid all these security systems. So that is when we need an actual person to do their rounds, okay, to check on the security of the area. So two systems compromise in manual security patrolling of a property. One, we have intercom and emergency communication system. So we have communications between the patrol and the people at control room. So this would allow them to communicate at every moment. Number two, security patrol monitoring system. So this is being used to monitor patrols to ensure the patrols followed as scheduled. So we want to make sure that the guards are doing their patrols at the right time, at the right area. Okay. So the usual monitoring is via security personnel writing down the information in various patrol record books, okay, which are the beat station along his route, or monitor the work schedule of the security personnel by using computer. So back in the old days, they would do their rounds, and when they reach their checkpoint, they will write in the logbook in that area. So these days, maybe we don't need to use logbooks anymore. There might be a station there where the security guard could scan his thumb or his face in that terminal and provide visual and audio reports, okay, at that terminal. So that will be a lot more effective. Okay, so these are some of the security personnel. And lastly is the intrusion alarm system. So this system is being designed to detect unauthorized entry. So they will use detectors and sensors to detect presence. Okay, so they are able to detect the intruder by a number of ways. For example, glass break, motion detection, door sensors, others. Okay, so these are all sensors which, when being triggered, will indicate that there might be an intruder in that area. So the intrusion system report the status of sensors back to a central monitoring point, okay, via variety of communication methods. So when the sensor has been triggered, it will send a signal, okay, straight to the control room, okay, so that the people in the control room will be alarmed, or they will let the people know that there is an unauthorized activity in that room. The system comprises bell or siren, a power supply from the main electricity or battery, switches, and control panel. They are linked with electrical wiring or circuit. So either they have a on-location alarm or a silent alarm being sent to the control room. So the function is to recognize and attempt to intrude into a protection area or point. So we have two types of sensors. Sensors are divided into two categories: switches of various types and space protectors. So in terms of switches, we can see there are a lot of switches. So by triggering these switches, the alarm system will be triggered. So we have, let's see, micro switch, magnetic read radio sensor, pressure mat, torn wiring, window strip, acoustic detector, vibration impact, or inertia detectors. So these are some of the detectors, where the left one is a vibration detector. Okay. And the right one is an inertia detector, usually being installed at doors. Okay, these detectors. And then we have a micro switch, can be installed at doors and windows. Magnetic read switch is okay, for sliding doors. Okay, same here. So next, in terms of space protection, volumetric sensors, and sometimes they are called deter, to keep intruders out by recognizing their presence. Okay, so this type of system would cover a particular area rather than a particular point of access. Okay, the previous one, it protects the point of access, but this space protection detects an area, so it covers a particular area. So we have ultrasonic, microwave, active, and passive infrared. So this is an example of infrared detector. Okay, so we usually see this like for lights, outdoor lights with motion sensor. So they will be using this type of infrared detectors. So the components, we have the control panel as the brain, the keying unit to set on and off, to activate other program features. Okay. Alarm signaling device to provide power to activate the signaling device, either by emitting intense noise or set off the lights or send off electric messages to remote monitoring station. So that's how alarm is being sent out. Next is point protection. Normally installed at a safe, secure entry point of a room. So, yeah. So normally being installed at point of access. So that's why it's called a point protection. Installed at windows, doors, okay, or drawers, display cases, room dividers. So we want to detect anybody trying to tamper with the point or break through the point. Okay, Sensors reported the point's identity, location, and operating status back to the control panel to human monitors. Okay. Next is area protection that I've mentioned before. So there can be motion detectors, okay, either infrared or by using laser technology. Okay. And then we have the perimeter protection. Protects an area by detecting an intrusion past the perimeter into the protected area, or namely the outer wall. Okay, so this type of alarm system covers the perimeter, the entire perimeter, normally at the fence. Personal threat protection. So usually we have a panic alarm device. So a hidden lever or button switch can be activated manually. So normally it will send out a silent alarm. Okay. So also known as a personal attack or paging alarm button. Okay. All right. So with that, we have covered in terms of the security system that is being installed on buildings. Okay, I hope with that you can access more information on this type of system online. Okay, obviously they would have a lot more up-to-date systems that are available in the market today. Okay, so with that I end with thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah.